Welcome back to my all old rare coins channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Have you ever come across a $50 coin and wondered if it could be worth more than just 50 cents? Well, today, we're taking a deep dive into the 1981 USA $50, a coin that might just be hiding a massive fortune in plain sight. Some rare versions of this coin have been sold for incredible prices at auctions, and by the end of this video, you'll find out exactly how much one special $50 could be worth today. The United States $50 has a long and fascinating history, and the 1981 version is no exception. This coin features the image of President John F. Kennedy, one of the most iconic figures in American history. The Kennedy $50 was first introduced in 1964, just months after his tragic assassination, as a way to honor his legacy. Since then, it has remained one of the most recognizable and collected coins in the world. By 1981, the Kennedy $50 had gone through several changes. Originally struck in 90% silver, the composition was later changed to a copper-nickel blend to keep production costs down. However, what many people don't realize is that within these 1981 $50, some rare variations and minting errors have turned an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. To understand why some of these coins are so valuable, let's talk about what makes them special. In 1981, the U.S. Mint produced $50 at 3 locations: Philadelphia, marked with a P, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The San Francisco Mint primarily struck proof coins, which were specially made for collectors with high-quality finishes. But even within these proof coins, there were some rare mistakes and variations that have made certain 1981 $50 incredibly valuable. One of the most sought-after versions is the 1981 S-Type 2 proof $50. This variation is extremely rare because it features a sharper and more refined S mint mark, different from the more common Type 1 version. The difference may seem small, but to collectors, this detail makes a world of difference. Coins with this specific mark in pristine, uncirculated condition are worth a fortune. Another factor that can skyrocket a coin's value is a minting error. Sometimes, mistakes happen during production, such as misaligned dies, double dies, or even planchet errors. These rare mistakes make the coins unique, and collectors are always willing to pay top dollar for one-of-a-kind pieces. If you happen to find a 1981 $50 with an unusual error, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Now, how do you know if you have a valuable 1981 $50? First, check the mint mark. If you have a 1981 S-proof coin, examine the S closely. If it's the sharper, more refined Type 2 version, you could be in possession of a rare gem. Next, inspect the coin's condition. Coins that have been well preserved, with little to no signs of wear, are the most valuable. Grading services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, helping determine its true worth. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the shocking value of the rarest 1981 $50. If you have a flawless, top-graded 1981 S-Type 2 proof $50, it could fetch an incredible $137,000 at auction. That's right, $137,000 for a single 50-cent piece. So before you overlook that old $50 in your collection, take a closer look. You could be holding a small fortune in your hands without even knowing it. Now, we're diving deep into a coin that might just change the way you look at pocket change forever: the 1972 D. Kennedy $50. At first glance, it may seem like just another 50-cent piece, but some rare variations and errors have made this coin incredibly valuable. Stay with us until the end because you won't believe how much one of these rare coins could be worth today. Let's go back to 1972. The Kennedy $50 had already been in circulation for less than a decade, but it had quickly become one of the most iconic coins in American history. First introduced in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy, this $50 became a symbol of national pride and remembrance. However, by 1972, the coin had undergone significant changes, most notably in its composition. Originally made with 90% silver, the rising cost of silver forced the U.S. Mint to switch to a copper-nickel-clad composition starting in 1971. The 1972 D. Kennedy half-dollar was struck at the Denver Mint, and while millions were produced, not all of them were created equal. Some of these coins have rare errors and variations that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. And if you happen to have one of these rare versions, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. So, what makes some 1972 D half-dollars so special? One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die obverse error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the inscriptions and design elements. On a 1972 D double die half-dollar, you might see doubling on the words, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even Kennedy's profile itself. This kind of error is extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay huge amounts for a well-preserved example. Another factor that can dramatically increase a coin's value is its condition. Coins that have never been circulated, meaning they were never used in daily transactions, are far more valuable than those that show signs of wear and tear. A 1972 D half-dollar in mint state condition, graded MS65 or higher, is much harder to find, and when combined with an error like a double die, it becomes a true collector's dream. But that's not all. Some 1972 D Kennedy half-dollars were mistakenly struck on silver planchets left over from earlier years. This means that instead of the expected copper-nickel composition, these rare coins contain a significant amount of silver, making them both historically and financially valuable. If you think you have one of these, you can check by weighing the coin. A regular 1972 D half-dollar should weigh 11.34 grams, but a silver planchet error will weigh around 11.5 grams. That tiny difference can mean thousands of dollars in value. Now, let's talk about grading. If you think you have a rare 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar, the best way to confirm its authenticity and condition is to have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade, well-preserved error coin can fetch astronomical prices at auctions, and that brings us to the most exciting part of this video: just how much could one of these rare 1972 D half-dollars be worth today? If you're lucky enough to own a rare 1972 D Kennedy half-dollar with a double die error or struck on a silver planchet in pristine condition, you could be looking at an astonishing $160,000 at auction. That's right, $160,000 for a coin that most people would overlook as just another piece of change. So before you spend that half-dollar, take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding a hidden treasure worth a life-changing amount. Next coin, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing half-dollar coins ever minted, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. It may look like just another 50-cent piece, but under the right conditions, this coin can be worth an unbelievable amount. Stay with us until the end, because you won't believe how much one of these rare half-dollars could be worth today. Let's take a trip back to 1973. The Kennedy half-dollar had already been circulating for nearly a decade, first introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. This coin quickly became one of the most collected pieces in American history. Originally struck in 90% silver, the half-dollar underwent changes over the years. By the time we reached 1973, the coin was made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, as silver had been completely removed from regular circulation coins starting in 1971. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The coins from the San Francisco Mint were special proof versions, designed for collectors with a mirror-like finish. Meanwhile, the regular circulation coins from Philadelphia and Denver were widely used in everyday transactions. However, among these coins, there are rare variations and errors that have skyrocketed their value over time. So, what makes some of these 1973 half-dollars so special? One of the most valuable versions is the 1973 D double die obverse (DDO) error. This happens when the coin is accidentally struck twice by the die, creating a slight doubling effect on key details like Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1973. If you have a 1973 D half dollar with a clear double die error, you might be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still fully visible. One of the rarest finds is a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar struck on a silver planchet. Although regular half-dollars from this year were supposed to be copper-nickel clad, a few were mistakenly minted on leftover 40% silver planchets from earlier years. If you suspect you have one of these rare silver errors, the best way to check is by weighing the coin. A standard 1973 half-dollar should weigh 11.34 grams, while a silver planchet error will weigh 11.5 grams. That tiny difference could mean thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of dollars in value. The condition of your coin also plays a massive role in its worth. Coins that have been circulated and show signs of wear are far less valuable than those in mint state, MS, condition. If you happen to have a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar in uncirculated condition, MS 65 or higher, or a proof version in PR 70 condition, it could be worth significantly more. The best way to authenticate and grade your coin is by sending it to professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. How much could one of these rare 1973 Kennedy half-dollars actually be worth? If you're lucky enough to own a rare error coin, such as a 1973 D double die obverse in high grade or a half-dollar struck on a silver planchet, you could be looking at a value of $154,000 at auction. That's right, $154,000 for a single half-dollar coin. So before you spend that 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, take a close look. You could be holding a hidden gem that's worth far more than just 50 cents. Now, we're diving into a fascinating coin that could be hiding a huge value, the 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar. At first glance, it may look like just another coin, but some rare variations and minting errors have turned a few of these half-dollars into a collector's dream. Stick with us until the end, because you won't believe how much one of these rare coins could be worth today. Let's take a trip back to 1992, a year of change and transition in U.S. coinage. The Kennedy half-dollar had already been in circulation for nearly 3 decades, first introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. The coin quickly became a symbol of respect and remembrance, making it one of the most iconic coins in American history. By 1992, the standard Kennedy half-dollar was being minted in a copper-nickel clad composition, just like most modern U.S. coins. However, that year also marked a special moment in coin history, the introduction of silver-proof Kennedy half-dollars for collectors. While regular circulation coins from Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, were made with the usual copper-nickel blend, the San Francisco Mint, S, produced special 90% silver-proof versions intended for collectors. Now, what makes the 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar so special? While millions of these coins were struck, there are rare errors and high-grade specimens that have made some of them extremely valuable. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare versions, you could be looking at a life-changing payday. One of the most sought-after errors in the 1992 P half-dollar is the struck-on-wrong planchet error. In rare cases, a Kennedy half-dollar was accidentally struck on a silver planchet meant for the proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. Since regular 1992 P coins were supposed to be copper-nickel, finding one with the weight and shine of silver is an incredible discovery. If you suspect you have one, the first thing to do is weigh the coin. A normal 1992 P Kennedy half-dollar should weigh 11.34 grams, but a silver error coin will weigh around 12.5 grams. That tiny difference could mean thousands of dollars in value. Another highly valuable variety is the full step and deep cameo proof-like coins. Even though the 1992 P half-dollars were intended for circulation, some were struck with incredibly sharp details, giving them a proof-like appearance. These rare, high-grade specimens are graded by professional services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, and the highest-graded versions sell for massive prices at auctions. If you're searching through your coins, pay close attention to minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or missing edge lettering. These rare errors make a coin unique, which increases its value dramatically. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for one-of-a-kind errors, and these rare finds can easily turn a 50-cent coin into a treasure worth thousands. Now, let's talk about grading. A circulated 1992 p half-dollar, meaning one that has been used in transactions, is usually worth face value or slightly more. However, an uncirculated coin, especially one graded MS-67 or higher, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The key to high value is sharp details, clean surfaces, and no wear marks. If you think you have a valuable half-dollar, consider getting it certified and graded to determine its true worth. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: how much could one of these rare 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollars actually be worth? If you're lucky enough to own a rare mint error or a high-grade uncirculated coin, it could sell for an astonishing $70,000 at auction. That's right, $70,000 for a single half-dollar coin. So before you spend or overlook that 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar, take a second look. You might just be holding a hidden fortune in your hands. Especially, we're diving deep into this fascinating coin, one that could be hiding in your collection or even in your pocket change. While most 1971 Kennedy half-dollars are common, some rare variations and errors have turned a few of these coins into jaw-dropping treasures. Stay with us until the end, because you won't believe just how much one of these rare coins could be worth today. Let's go back to 1971, a year that marked a major turning point in the history of the Kennedy half-dollar. This coin had been introduced just a few years earlier, in 1964, as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination. Initially, the half-dollar was minted in 90% silver, making it not only a symbol of remembrance but also a valuable piece of currency. However, by the late 1960s, rising silver prices forced the U.S. Mint to reduce the silver content of its coins. From 1965 to 1970, the Kennedy half-dollar was still produced with 40% silver, but by 1971, the U.S. Mint made a huge change. It completely removed silver from the half-dollar, switching to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This was the first year the half-dollar was struck in all base metals, making it seem like just another coin. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1971 Kennedy half-dollars are made of copper-nickel, a small number were accidentally struck on leftover 40% silver planchets from 1970. That's right, a few 1971 half-dollars contain silver, making them extremely rare and incredibly valuable. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare silver era coins? The easiest way is to check the coin's weight. A normal 1971 Kennedy half-dollar should weigh 11.34 grams, but if you have one of these rare silver planchet errors, it will weigh around 11.5 grams. That tiny difference could mean the difference between 50 cents and tens of thousands of dollars. Another valuable variety is the double die obverse, DDO, error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the words, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 1971. If you find a 1971 Kennedy half-dollar with clear doubling on these details, you might be holding a coin worth thousands of dollars, but that's not all. Another rare and valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to appear shifted or cut off. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date and key details are still visible. Some 1971 half-dollars also have a missing FG error. This means the initials, FG, for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer, are missing from the back of the coin near the eagle's tail feathers. This rare error can also increase the coin's value significantly. Now, let's talk about grading and condition. If your 1971 Kennedy half-dollar has been used in circulation and shows wear and tear, it will likely be worth only its face value. However, if your coin is in mint state condition, MS65 or higher, its value can skyrocket. The best way to determine the true worth of your coin is to have it graded and authenticated by a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: how much could one of these rare 1971 Kennedy half-dollars actually be worth? If you are lucky enough to own a 1971 Kennedy half-dollar struck on a silver planchet, or one with a rare mint error in pristine condition, it could be worth an astonishing $199,999 at auction. That's right, $199,999 for a single half-dollar coin. So before you spend that 1971 Kennedy half-dollar, take a close look. You could be holding a hidden fortune right in your hands. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to discover hidden treasures. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.